I've had the privilege of helping sellers sell and buyers buy right here in a great resale community right here in my hometown of Parrish, Florida. Today we're looking at Riverwoods. Hey neighbors, Catherine Newman here, and this is yet another video in my series of larger lot resale communities in the Parrish, Florida area. Now I'm making these videos because although Parrish is probably more known for its explosive growth in new construction home communities, if you've watched this channel before, you already know that I am a big fan of existing home communities as well as new construction.
Seriously, I'm just a fan.
Because I believe there are many advantages to existing communities that you just won't find in the newer home communities. And of course, if you're new to this channel, thanks for tuning in. And maybe you haven't heard me share over and over and over again that I like to show you existing communities as well as new construction. I do hope that you will subscribe so that you can come to know the many types of communities, both new construction and existing, that make Parrish, Florida, my hometown, a really great option for you. Since after Hurricane Milton that we had last fall, 2024, most of the homes have had new roofs, and that's going to help keep your homeowner's insurance rates a bit lower. And when I talk to you on the phone, many of you really are more interested now more than ever, maybe because of the new roofs, in these existing home communities over the new construction, because many of you like, what do you always say, the more mature look of an existing communities. And this community we're going to talk about today really does offer that. And of course, because many of you don't want to pay the ridiculously high CDD fees or HOA fees. And if you're not sure what a CDD fee is, like what the heck is that, you need to check out this video here that explains it. And because many of you are saying, hey, Catherine, we want more space between our neighbors. We don't want to be locking elbows with them. Many of you don't want to be stuck in new construction, traffic, and of course the ongoing building in these new communities over the next 5 or 7, even 10 years.
Oh God, you're killing me.
You're telling me that you want lower property taxes than the new construction communities offer. Here's another one you guys are asking. You're saying we want larger secondary bedrooms, and I hear you, because new construction bedrooms are teeny, teeny, tiny. And these are all the benefits and advantages of a home that is located in these existing neighborhoods. So Riverwoods is an established, deed-restricted neighborhood in Parrish, Florida, located in Manatee County. Now, it was developed in the mid-1990s, and they built homes up through about 2007. There are 259 homes, and of course, Riverwoods is really a medium-sized community. And you know, the website says it's a friendly community. I found that to be true working with people in there. And this is what the website says, that residents of all ages are likely to be seen walking in the evenings, and I see them walking during the day, riding their bikes, I see a lot of that, watching the birds, sometimes along some of the 7 neighborhood retention ponds that they have. And basically, the website says that Riverwoods is an exceptional place to call home, and I agree with that. Now, this subdivision is built on a scenic setting, and that is for sure. You're going to see it in these videos. They have mature oak tree canopies with that quintessential moss, you know, draping down on the trees that we all love. Again, several retention ponds. And in the back of the community, there are really river frontage homes along the north bank of the actual Manatee River. There are preserves, of course, and greenbelt areas. And again, I've had the privilege of listing homes for sale in this neighborhood and helping buyers choose Riverwoods as their next new home. And every time I go into this community, I've always found it to be very well maintained. And I can tell you there are some in Parrish that aren't very well maintained. So here in River Woods, there's an obvious pride of ownership as you drive through. And you guys, that is a really good sign. And I always remind people, let's drive through some of these communities, even new construction home communities, and let's see how well they are maintained after a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Always drive through. So since everything is location, 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 let's look at this map. You'll see that it's located off of Old Tampa Road and 301, and it's just east of Interstate 75. We're actually just a few miles from exit 224. So this means that River Woods, the location that it provides, is relatively easy access for commuting. So maybe you're going to Bradenton or Sarasota. Maybe you need to be in Tampa or St. Pete or the airport up in Tampa. It's pretty close to all of these things. Now, most of these lots are elevated to an X zone. So that means you are not required to have a flood insurance policy on these X zones. But of course, I always encourage you, it never hurts to have a small flood insurance policy. Now, what are the community amenities for these single family homes? There is an amenity clubhouse, kind of a recreation center. People use it for gatherings. You can go in there and have private parties. There's an HOA bulletin board. Of course, there is a swimming pool, and many people say that it is heated. Need a fitness center? Yep. Look at this. They've got one. And tennis and pickleball courts are available, and some of them have lights so that you can play in the evenings. There are trails and sidewalks and natural features throughout, walking and biking paths, of course, ponds, and that riverside boardwalk. And the lot features here are much, much better than most new construction home communities because most of these homes are on a quarter acre, even up to a half acre lot.
I love my space.
And many of those have pond views or preserve views. So you're not backing to a neighbor. Now, I mentioned already that there is an HOA. That means it is a deed restricted community. And that means that the HOA is going to enforce standards for the appearance of your home, the colors, and of course your lot maintenance and how the community is maintained, which is a good thing. The fees are relatively modest, guys. I'm not kidding you, anywhere between $70 to $85 a month. That's it. And again, no CDD fee. This is always a plus for lots of you because, well, you don't want to pay those big fees. They add up, and in some of those new construction communities, they're over $3,000, some $4,000, some up to $5,000 a year. Now, what about the home size and the pricing? Again, these are all single-family residences. Square footage is going to range somewhere between 1,600 all the way up to 2,800 square feet for most of the homes. But some of those larger ones in the back near the river, they're going to be pretty large, maybe up to 4,000 square feet. There are often 3 to 5 bedrooms. You will see a few 2-car garages, but most of these homes are 3-car garages, and you're going to need it in Florida because you need storage. Now, regarding pricing, I want to take you over to the MLS and show you the current price range for homes in this community, and I want you to see what they look like on the inside, what they're selling for, days on the market. So let's go look. And if you look at the last 90 days, again, this is the actives here, 5 actives, anywhere from 530,000 up to 719,500. You see the current days on the market, they range, from 4 up to 164 days. And the minimum, well, let's look at the median because I like to using the median. The median for the active homes is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage. Most of them do have a pool built in 2004 on a 0.31 acre lot, just under 2,800 square feet. And the median list price is $600,000, and that would be $217 per square feet. So now we're looking at the pending, this only one home that I showed you, which I think they did a great job with pricing. And of course, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, 0.33 acre, 2,356 square feet, about $225 per square foot. And we'll see what that one sells for once it has closed. So we don't know. Right now it's at $529,500. We don't know if they went up a little bit, maybe to get some incentives or to buy the rate down, or it's going to come in under. We'll see what that is once it closes. Now we're going to look at the solds again. This is just for the last 90 days. So the 4 that have sold, you'll see that 1 was in June of this year, 2 were in August, and 1 was in July, the most recent sold, ranging anywhere from sale price $312,500 up here, all the way down to $640,000. And I'm going to show you both the lowest sold price and the highest sold price in a second. And then if you see the median for the sold, it was a median 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It was a median 2-car garage for the sold, built in about 2000, a 0.31 acre, 2,709 square feet, and $191 per square foot sold price. And you can see that they were listed about $547,500 when you put them all together. And then the median sold price, though, was $537,500. So really still within 97.6% list price to sales price ratio. And it was taking about 100 days. So let's look at this first house, the least expensive home that is for sale here in Riverwoods. I mean, that's a pretty nice house. You're going to see that it has 2,412 square feet right here. List price is $530,000, built in 2004. It's only been on the market for 4 days. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. But let's look down here. I want you to see this here. You're going to see that this one has a newer roof, 2021, newer water heater, beautiful plantation shutters, and a new HVAC system with an air purifier. Guys, this is what I would call a really good deal. And remember, there are no CDD fees in here. So, I mean, that's also a bonus. Let me get out of that. And then you're going to see up here, this is the average monthly HOA, $84.17. That's not so bad. But I do want you to notice this here, where it says flood zone A plus X. Well, what's interesting about that is the house itself is going to be elevated, meaning it's in an X zone. So I haven't had any flooding around the house, but somewhere back in this property is an A zone because it's going to, of course, go down. So I wanted to show you real quickly. Let's look at this from an aerial view. You're going to see this community right over here. This is River Wilderness, and we're going to do a video about that as well because that's a beautiful golfing community, really the only golfing community in Parrish. It's also gated. Remember that River Woods is not gated, but you'll see the house right here. Look at this beautiful buffer. Let's get a little closer. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? You've got all of this buffer. This is a 0.40 acre. Guys, this is almost a half an acre here. So this is nice. What you're going to see out of your backyard, of course, is going to be God's creatures. How nice is that? God's creatures. All kinds of creatures back there. Yes, bobcats as well. And then when you look inside, you're going to see that it's pretty nice. It's very bright. They have put some really neutral paint on the walls, which I really recommend if you're looking at houses. But guys, if you are selling homes in these older communities, you really need to just make them as bright as you can. Now, I would say that the kitchen does need some updating. That is something that I would want to do. I might even see if I could take this out. If it's not load bearing, kind of make that more open, but that's easily done. It wouldn't cost you a lot of money to do that sort of thing. So this is a very lovely house. It does not have a pool. I like the plantation shutters. The carpet, that's not always fun, but I'm telling you guys, this is a really good deal. Bathroom needs a little updating, but I'm telling you, if you want to get a good deal in this community and you want to know more about, look at this, look outside. Is that gorgeous? Come on, looky there. You are really going to enjoy sitting out here, watching the birds, watching whatever flies or roams into your backyard, armadillos and raccoons, and and that sort of thing. Possums, all those fun little creatures. But this is beautiful. This is a great place for you to spend your evenings, your mornings, maybe having your quiet time, maybe having some coffee or a cocktail. This is a beautiful, beautiful home. So this is a great opportunity. If you want to know more about it, definitely give me a ring. I'll tell you more. And then let's go on to the most expensive house in Riverwoods. So let's look now at, I'm going to get out of the screen capture here, the most expensive home on the market. And that would be this one, listed price at $719,500. It's been on the market for 110 days. Now, they did start at $738, and they've come down a little bit. You'll see that it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and look at the view of this, very nice. And it does have its own private pool. This one's list price square footage is $255 a square foot. Now, they pay $75 for their average HOA fee. Again, they're a little different from house to house depending on when they bought it. It was built in 2000, and it is 2,812 square feet. And if you go down here, you're going to see that it is a lot of it has been fully renovated. So we'll check that out. The kitchen, that is. We'll see if anything else is fully renovated. And you're going to see that this is a 0.33 acre lot, so over a quarter of an acre. Really nice sized lot. And then let's check these pictures out. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? This one does have a beautiful pool, and it was refinished in 22, new pavers, and the cage is new. So a lot of us did have to get a new pool screen cage when we had Milton last year. I know we did. But again, this one is very bright, so it does not look as dated as some of the others. Nice flooring. You can see they did a little bit brighter. Look, they did a new kitchen with quartz countertops. Very nice. Nice new appliances, backsplash. That is beautiful. So again, a really nice opportunity. Here's a little paint on the wall that you might want to change out, that fleshy brownish kind of color, but hey, it might appeal to some of you. To each his own. Bathroom looks really nice. There's just some really great pictures here. Let's go on and look at the pictures of outside, because that's what we all love. Isn't this gorgeous? Wouldn't you love to spend some time here? Very big pool. Look at this spa tub over here. This is really nice. And of course, they've got some buffer here. They got beautiful trees. You can see that they're overlooking the water. And this is their covered lanai space. So most of you really do want a covered lanai space. So again, I think this is something worth checking out if you want to know more about the most expensive home. And of course, we can check out the ones in between, even if they need a little updating. I think this is a great opportunity for you if you're looking for something. This is just gorgeous. What a great way to spend a weekend. This is the backyard if you still want yard. Look at this pergola. Isn't that nice? This is so nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful house. And I think it's something worth checking out. And if you see here on this aerial map, you kind of see where it lays in the community. So here's the pending home. You can see right here. Isn't that beautiful as well? This one was pending, guys, in 3 days on the market. So kudos to pricing your home correctly. $529,500 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath private pool, 2,356 square feet. Isn't this lovely? Again, there's only $80 a month in HOA fees, no CDD. This is a flood zone X, which is really nice. And you'll see down here that we have a 0.33 acre lot. Taxes were pretty good on this one. Of course, it's going to change a little bit once you buy it because you're paying a little bit higher price than they did, but that's pretty nice. And then let's check out what this one looks like. You can see that it's had a newer roof, guys. They got a good deal. Outdoor paint looks beautiful. The position on the lot looks really nice. And look at that. Isn't it beautiful? They've also got a nice pond view. Now remember, these pond views, these are retention ponds. They help with water runoff. We have one in our backyard. You've seen it on my videos. And you know that it's never flooded. It's never come up into our yard. We've never had an issue. This is an X zone, so they're not required to have flood insurance. But look how nice this is. There's also this nice hot tub, these trees, and I love that they did what they call this 360 panoramic view, where there's no bars, like these little bars here in the cage. They've just done it so that it's a total open screen. Isn't that beautiful? So they did a nice job there. This is how it sits in the community. Beautiful driveway, and look how bright and cheerful it is inside. So I'm telling you, they did a nice job updating. Look at the floors. No wonder this one sold in 3 days. I'd have bought this one too. Done some built-ins here. Very nice job. Very nice job. Look at that. That's gorgeous. So let's check out the kitchen here. You can see the beautiful view you have when you walk in the front door. Dining area. Very nice dining area. And look at this kitchen. Did they do it well or what? Yes, I'd have bought this house in a heartbeat if I were a buyer. Great job. Look at the crown molding it has. They did beautiful cabinetry, nice quartz countertops, a really neutral backsplash. People, please stop putting crazy stuff up for backsplashes. It's not helping you. Nobody wants to have to tear that stuff out. So put something neutral in. They've got newer appliances, as you can see. Isn't that lovely? Nice job. Nice redo. I'm clapping. Okay, so you can kind of see the bedroom here. This is the primary bedroom. Very nice. Now the bathroom is kind of dated here, but hey, I'd have bought it too and done my own thing in here. You could probably for 20 grand do a really beautiful job in this bathroom. But again, I think that this home is quite lovely. They did a wonderful job. This is the covered lanai area where you're going to spend a lot of your time just hanging out outside with your family, with your friends, with yourself, with solitude, with nature, and having a great visit. So this is the home that is pending. And of course, again, bravo for how the sellers got this home ready to get under contract. So let's look at some of the most recent sales in River Woods. This one is the least expensive sold home. Now, I did tell you there were 8 in the last 180 days, but there were fewer, of course, in the last 90 days. So I'm just looking at the last 90 days, and it's interesting to see here that this one had started at $443 and then they dropped it to $414. Look where they sold it, $100,000 less. So yeah, obviously very motivated seller. The roof on this house was only 9 years old. However, I will tell you that insurance companies, when they start seeing 10-year-old, 11, 12, 14, they're starting to make those premiums higher on that age of roof, even though a 9-year-old roof really is still a very good roof. And you'll see that this one was a 0.30 acre lot. It's only a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It did not have a pool, so that's another reason it sold for less. And 2,475 square feet. So it only took 41 days. That's not so bad. It is one of the older homes in 1996 right here. But let's look at a few of the pictures. I bet this one is a little dated, and that's why it needed some love inside. The color on the outside, that whole fleshy circus peanut color, that's very common for this age of home, but people don't like it now. But again, you're seeing a lot of carpet. It looks like the carpet's new, but this would definitely need some updating. People don't want that much carpet. This is very dated kitchen, and these soffits that aren't even needed. This is just the way things were built then. A very basic 36-inch cabinets and, Formica counter. I think that's Corian. Yeah, that's Corian. So you can see it did need some love, but boy, if you can pick up a house in Riverwoods for $312,000 or even $400 and some thousand or even $500 and some thousand and do a little updating, you are getting a really good deal. So it needed a lot of updating here. But hey, kudos to whoever bought this and is going to transform it. Again, you can see the lot is quite large. I mean, it's a nice lanai here. This is the picture above. You can see that it backs to just preserve area. You're not having to look at another neighbor and wave to them in the morning or the evening. You just get to enjoy outside. And of course, these are just pictures of the community.
And here is the most expensive sold in the last 90 days. It's a pretty nice house as well. Now, I will tell you that this home started in April of this year on the market at $749,000. So, I mean, it was on the market for some time, and obviously, once they lowered that price $100,000, it did sell. And pretty close to list price at $640,000. So that'll tell you something about overpricing your house to start. I'll also tell you that this is a beautiful tile roof, as you'll see right here. Look at this, isn't that gorgeous? However, this is the original roof from 2004. Now, does a tile roof last longer than an asphalt shingle roof? Absolutely. It does last longer. However, I would assume that it still had a pretty hefty homeowner's insurance premium because it still is 20 some years old, 21 years old. So you can see that it's a really nice house. Now let's look at the aerial view. This one's larger lot, of course, in the back of the community. And you're going to see here that it is still an X zone. So that's nice. They didn't require flood insurance. And let's see what else here. They paid $80 a month almost. It is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. They did have their own pool. And let's see what size lot this was. A 0.39 acres. So very, very nice. It says that they have a pond view. Let's take a look at some of these pictures here. Isn't that something? Now it's right here. I don't know that they have too much of a pond view, but hey, it's still quite lovely. Nice trees. Look how private this is. Isn't that a beautiful pool? Beautiful cage. Now they did a really nice job on this kitchen. And, it's not as open as some of the other kitchens. And not everybody's looking for an open kitchen, but they did some beautiful built-ins. It's a very classic look. The floors are very nice. The walls are kind of yellowish, not as neutral as most people like, but at least they're neutral enough. They did update the primary bathroom, which is really important too, and, gave it a free soaking tub and that sort of thing. So look out here. Is this gorgeous? Now, this is an acquired taste, but I just think it's beautiful. I love that they did this built-in little kitchen area out here. A lot of you are looking for that. And of course, it's going to have formal and informal areas. They have the plantation shutters, lots of walkouts to, the outdoor lanai area. And of course, just bonus spaces, lots of built-ins. So I think they did a really nice job with this house. And again, once they went down in the price, they got this booger sold. So kudos to them for being open-minded and doing what was necessary to get this home sold.
Now, if you have students, they're going to be served by Annie Lucy Williams Elementary School, Buffalo Creek Middle School, and Parrish High School. However, I will say that they are right now rezoning for schools. It's going on right now, and that's going to affect a lot of the neighborhoods in Parrish. So if you have kids in school and you want to check that out, I think you should. I'm going to leave the link in the description below, and that's going to take you directly to the Manatee County School District website so that you can see if any of those changes are going to affect this community, Riverwoods. Pros: it is pleasant, it is quiet, it has mature landscaping, it looks beautiful, really good amenities. Remember, some homes come with water access or river access or views or preserve views. They are larger lots with more space between the houses. That's always great. Again, no CDD fee. That's going to save you a lot of money. HOA fees are pretty dang low. And it is a good location, which gives you access to highways and all of the amenities, the shopping, the restaurants, and of course, the nearby cities and our beaches. The cons, well, it is an older, established home. Homes are a little bit older, and the homes are probably going to require some updating, maybe some maintenance for the roof or the pool or the patio or the HVAC. But remember, a lot of these listings show that many of those renovations on the inside and the roofs and that sort of thing, the mechanicals, have already been done. Now, because they're on larger lots, Of course, this might not be a real con because a lot of people want the larger lot, but it's on a larger lot with mature landscaping. So either you're going to have to hire someone to take care of all of that, or you're going to spend a little more time in the yard. So there you go. That is a great overview, what you can expect to find in Riverwoods. Now, if you are curious about this community and you want more information, maybe you want to see some of these individual homes that are for sale, I would love to connect with you. And if you're one of those people that lives in Riverwoods and you'd like to sell your home, or you're curious about what the value of your home is right now, I'm so honored to meet with you, give you an honest assessment of the market value, the current market value for your home, and of course, give you some ideas on things that we could do to strategize to get your home in front of the most buyers, get it sold for the best price in the least amount of time. And that's what we all want to do. And don't forget, I offer staging with my listings, using the best of what you have. And of course, pieces from my staging inventory. And if you don't need staging, then we won't do it. And we will also come up with a great selling strategy using paid ads to get your home in front of as many buyers as we can. We want it to stand out over the competition. So if that's you, whether you're buying or selling, I'd love for you to reach out. I'd love to chat with you. So don't forget to subscribe so you know the next time a video is available. I'm Catherine Newman. Thanks for your comments below. I'll see you next time.